Yeah. I should restore everything here. It's just not good. Ah. Definitely unclear, but I'm gonna restore it. Let's keep that where it was. Let's see. Let's just restore everything. Yep, what to do with this one namespace here? Descriptor, put it in descriptor, put it in task. No, I don't want that. I could move this one to task, but then use here maybe just the descriptor thing. Hello, buffer. I think I need a new class yet again. Probably move this one to task. It's kind of also not correct. I mean, I have all my tasks in namespace task, but these are so project specific that is almost pollution of the namespace task. Naming things is difficult. Relative to when? By just my progress is in the description, more or less. Okay, I have this texture thing here. I think I'm going to make combined image sampler. How about that? Okay, yeah, well, yeah. So I made a new class that I'm going to use as the user code in the user code, which has a pointer to my task. So instead of using this pointer, I'm now going to use that class. That is the idea. So instead of this pointer, I'm going to use that's what I said, right? Yeah, share a builder, share the resource. That means I can no longer create it here. I no longer need to create it, rather. And or it would be nice to maybe... No. Well, yes. I mean... No, I can pass these things to the constructor. Things being the GLSL ID. Is that the ID string that I use in the GLSL code? Pseudocode before preprocessing. And the size of an array, if it is an array. But I don't think it's a good idea to pass the size of an array right at the constructor. You might not know it until later. Very often you just want to construct an object. And then have that instance, but you cannot not really initialize it until later. No, or maybe you could support both, I guess. The constructor and as well. Oh, we do need the set array size. Yeah, let's do it like that. That then means that this thing needs to be moved to wherever I have this. AKA here, which I did before, but I just reverted everything. And now I want to pass, maybe that's not even possible. Well, that's what I want. I don't think that's possible. I want to construct these things with these as arguments. Is that possible? Except, of course, spelling it out. Let's start spelling it out, because I don't want to waste too much time on this. So now I'm having a character const pointer as an argument for the constructor of this thing. And then, well, this is already done. But I still want to have a set array size as well. It's however no longer a pointer. Yeah, it's a bit dubious, but yeah, okay. I'm thinking that I might as well set a name here, maybe. Yeah. Like that. Yep. And this has to be moved to the engine. Somehow I don't think I need or want a callback anymore, so this whole function is going to disappear from the user code, which is a very good thing. I don't know, that's funny, I have no idea how, just completely slipped my mind, but when I was thinking about it, well, yesterday night basically, or when did I think about it? Maybe this morning when I woke up. I at some point realized shortly, I think, that I did not need to call back anymore. So now, I don't know how, but I'm just assuming that I don't need to call back anymore. Because at some point I had that insight. I remember it actually in an abstract way. So we don't need this. Now the add combined image sampler now takes a different type. It's just no longer a boost into the pointer. and then we are around. So this is now that type. I have to change that. This might be already inside Shader Builder actually. I think it is. Namespace here is pipeline. Oh. Never mind. It seems pretty weird actually, right? You get something and then we pass it on immediately. Why is this function even here? Well, because it takes a base pointer. Yeah, this one takes a base pointer. It's a general for all the shader resources. Well, this one takes specifically a combined image sampler. No. Okay, well, that's now again true that it is a member of the window class. Yeah, I have to think. I think it's important to realize what this thing is actually doing here. Nothing, right? Just adding it. And required shader resources list. Yeah, just adding stuff to vectors. Pure registration. This whole function not really doing anything. It's just used later. I mean, like really after we return from this function somewhere. Sort. Yeah, sorry, I don't have idea. Did you use graphics or just ASCII? for the bingo game. Oh man, I'm so quickly distracted. What was I doing? Oh, I don't know. When I was young and I started coding, I wrote a program that solves puzzles with buckets. It starts with how many buckets, and then you have to fill in the letters. I still have a program even, I think, or I rewrote it maybe. So you type in the volume of your buckets, and then the largest bucket is full, and then it calculates what is the most difficult amount to ask for. So you know those puzzles, you have to pour one bucket into another until the smaller one is full, or until the one that you pour from is empty. And then create a certain amount, assuming no leakage or losses, etc. I'm pretty sure. No, yeah, you're interrupting me. Why? So would I have written that in C? There's no buckets here, so probably. Cannot find it back. You could write the Towers of Noise solver, but then of course not with just 3, but with N. But that's NP hard problem, so it's not really interesting. Four on a row. That's maybe fun. Program the place of 4 in a row. I don't know, man. Just make something up. Yeah, I was wondering what is being done with what we add to the vector here. And well, that vector is being sorted here, and then it's being used here in handle shader resource creation requests. Initialize shader resources per set index. Stuff like that. Field set index hint. It's just reading it. Just reading it. That's what I'm looking for. Pick one. Let's assume that sort is one of the earliest things that is being called. being called from the pipeline factory. After it is compiled, yeah, that's like way further. Really? After it's compiled. It's probably done something with it earlier. Filled maybe. Anyway, probably, certainly even. Just see the light, finally. After this call. I'm not calling this anymore. Wait, what am I doing here? I'm still in, but I don't want to. Oh, but they are part of the window. Dang. Yeah, it keeps being confusing, this. Keeps being confusing. Let's add this back then. Okay. So I'm calling these things here because this is these are part of the window, and this function here is executed by multiple threads at the same time. So this thing now must be thread safe in the way that we can assume it is already initialized, but we cannot write to it. The parts that we write to, if we do that, must be locked somehow. And I'm going to use a task for that. So the task magic is going to do the thread safeness. But no, it's totally not easy. Shit. Fuck. The point is, I think I have to choose an API that the user sees. Now this is the user code, as we know. And I'm still not even happy with this API, because I have to call a function that is part of the window. the very least, let's do this in a loop. Define the pipelines only very partly. Add combined image samplers to the pipeline. Also, it seems that I do not have to pass this anymore, which is very peculiar. Can almost not be correct. But hey, what do I know? Okay, so now we are calling this with an object in order to call another function with that. Why? Well, that doesn't really seem to make much sense. Nah, I don't like it. I would maybe do it if this was a library, but since it's the user code, then that means that the user would have to add this function all the time. Every time. That's code duplication. So, but yeah, it's user code anyway. It's just a matter of where I add it. But I'm going to use an accessor, I think. So for this thing here, we're going to make it an accessor. So we need to look for a public thing or the word accessor. Nah, whatever. Just add it here. That I mean, can make an accessor for the whole array. I'm not going to repeat types that long. So I'm just gonna have a type const reference. Do I not already have Accessor somewhere? No. Oh, really strange, yes. I need to define this type. Yes, and now we go back again. And I moved it anyway. Yeah. So this returns an array now, and then access array. And now we add them one by one. Obviously, I could also change this function into accepting an array or something like that. I have several favorite numbers. Am I happy with this API? Maybe we can polish it later and start working with this. So I have the number of, and then I have names, the GLSLID string names, postfixes I mean. And then I have a combined image sampler shader resource objects of that amount. I'm also having textures, but those are unrelated. It should be number of textures eventually. And here we initialize the postfixes and the array size. Yeah, that's we should be number of textures again, really. And they should be moved to the engine eventually. And that is the new accessor. And here we add it to the shader input data. Well, if it works, I'll go with it. Now, of course, it doesn't work. It's just a framework that I sucked out of my thumb, as they say. And then everything will break down if I try to compile it. But hey, then we know what to fix. Because this is what must work. Okay, let's fix the errors. CombinedImageSampler is not a member of... Did you mean no? Let's run ctex. So it doesn't know whether this is shader resource. Guess I have to include this header. Variable or field. Add combined image sampler, declare void. I should report that error because it makes no sense whatsoever. I think this also means that it doesn't know what this is. In fact, I think I already reported it before. But, well, add combined image sampler. Whatever. And then of course there's a missing header here, or do I combined image sampler? It's defined. Yeah, not in the right namespace. Depends a little bit. Where am I using this? Not. Oh, I'm using it here. Nah. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, probably needed. And now also in shader builder, shader resource. Put it like that. Oh boy, it's again a print to O stream that it doesn't know. It did not know how to print that. Yeah, that makes sense. Where is that here? VR. Yeah, well. What can we do about it? Okay, this is totally wrong now. Like in totally wrong. But yeah, I want absolutely everything printable, including my new class. Let's add no, including that. So something like if def debug and if void print on standard O string reference as const. Yeah, it's not okay the problem this time. And then if I do this, yeah, include this is .h and then a bloody namespace and then that thing which we don't implement. But no, we only have this so far. I'm not even sure if I can print that. There's a boost into the pointer. Pointer. VK utils print pointer. And that accepts a real pointer or a standard unique pointer, but not a boost intrusive pointer. Maybe we should add that. But yeah, well. Like that then. So now we can print it. I guess that works like this. Still not printing it. Really. Again, false. But this time we know the trick. I spent like 2 hours on it yesterday or something like that. The trick to quickly find out what is wrong now is to, I hope, edit that file that I just found. Yeah. And as you can see, I still did not manage to filter out, or manage, I didn't even try. But I would do that off stream. Candidate, that is my candidate, VI. The triggers who make this true. And then only compile that one file, otherwise we get a gazillion errors in other. I still have to do that manually, I think. Yeah, see, that's problematic. But thankfully I have it verbose still turned on. So I can hopefully just compile this one. Yep, and then I need to go to CD repo base object here. I can compile that thing. Nope. Now I'm getting billionaires somewhere else. Oh no, wait a minute. This is. What's this? Ambiguous overlay operators, OS stream in. No. Yeah, that's not working. That is not working. Better do a different trick, I guess. Different directory. Yeah, I wanted to edit. Yeah, that did not work. I want to trick it into using this. What is... do I have to look at the error again? I wish I filtered this. What is it again? Yeah. No, not there. The previous one. Standard equal. There's no. I think I did something not. It's not this. It's not equal. Maybe is same. I think it was. Standard is same. Is same or same as? Yeah, standard is same as V. Is same V. Defined in concepts. There's also a concept. No. Type traits. Already have type traits, of course. Type traits. Danilo Kobzar. I'm using Arch Linux. Yeah, I was already afraid of that, but thank God you see the second error as well. Incomplete type. Doesn't that piss you off? remnant, the boost intrusive pointer. Okay. Danny, yeah, that was a better question. I was wondering why are people looking at my stream and then asking what distribution I'm using. The only thing you really see is my editor. It's all there. I assume I can paste links. I pasted a link in the chat. I mean, other people cannot paste links. Danilo, did you get my link in the chat? Okay, what is this? Standard array is no member named setTilSID postfix. Yep, that's correct. Yeah, that's definitely nasty. I mean, like really, really nasty. But I think I'm going to use this setter as the thing that creates a task and starts it. Ah, that's really dirty. It doesn't feel right, but yeah. Okay, so we need this one. And it has to be thread safe because we're calling it multiple times. I guess that my combined image sampler is also const where I'm calling it from. In the M combined image sampler, it's not const. Oh, whoa, it's not const. Amazing. Yeah, okay, let's just jump it from here, or sorry, combined. No. I also have a set array size. And they do not have to be const. Now this is going to be big-ish, so I might as well. Oh well, let's put them both. Let's put them both in the .cxx file. Hey, Danny Low, thank you. Wireless says, how do you not get confused in your code? I don't know. I feel continuously confused. The way I code is more like having, let's put it. I hate to repeat myself, but I'm getting old. My memory is really degrading. I used to be much better. In my teens, I was a high genius. Scored off the charts of everything. And now I'm just stupid, really. It's a big difference. So it's more like how I used to work was, I have in my mind just every possible thing that must be done, but not exactly, more like statistically. Like a lot of things, not in words, more abstract. And then as incomplete as they can be. I mean, not deliberately, but I don't care about how incomplete they are, because they are labeled with a chance. So say you have a whole tree of possibilities, and then they're labeled with statistics, and then because it's not in words, you can think about it in a parallel way, and I just get the impression of what is the most likely thing that I have to do. And that's what I'm working on. So I do not have a complete overview. I don't know where I'm going. I don't understand a lot of my code. So you can call it confused. But I have how incomplete and even how wrong sometimes. But fortunately only sometimes. What an idiot. I have a feeling what is the most efficient piece of code that I probably will need, and that's what I'm working on. And then when that is finished, then something else is the most likely, most efficient thing to work on, and so on. So it's sometimes I compare the coding with claying, and just put something here and put a little bit there, and then make a dent, and then elongate it a little bit, and then squish it again. It's not all pure logic. And unfortunately, I have a lot less overview than I wish I had. Yes, Danny Law, I have a Discord viewer, but I'm never looking at it. And nobody's chatting on it, thank God, because otherwise I would feel guilty of having all those people there. I can give you an invite, but it's always buried and... See how many people are on there. 122 people are online. I don't know. The problem is I have only 3 monitors. One I use for my browser, one I use for working, and the other one I use for chatting and for OBS. So all my chat windows, all the chat applications are covered by OBS. And I hardly turn anything off, so it's just I don't chat anymore because OBS is always open. Maybe I should buy a 4th monitor and then put OBS on that. Or I should just minimize OBS because so now I can see Discord. No, that's a server that I have related to this. Like I said, don't expect me to react very quickly, because often it's just covered with OBS. Plus, I don't have time. Set GLSLID postfix. Yeah, let me think. So this must be thread safe. And I'm going to write something. So I have to lock a mutex, or what I'm writing to must be atomic. I don't think it makes much sense to write a string atomically, if at all possible. So let's store the string in something. Do I need to store it? Previously I did not need to store it. I think, yeah, I was going to create a task, right? So I think that the task is what needs TLS-ID postfix. I want to create this task. Okay, that takes a character const pointer, so I can copy this, which was like literally that I'm going to pass them. It also has a set array size function. Well, that's kind of meant here. That's kind of annoying though. Yeah. I cannot start it here. Well, yeah. Well, man, I'm so abusing this stuff. It's unbelievable. I can create a unique task here, but not and run it even, because it must be run. And then use the fact that I'm probably going to call this function before I'm doing something with the task, in the sense that it starts running further. Really dirty. But that way I can just call this and then create a task and run it. And then still be in time by setting an array size, if that is being called as well. There is maybe a downside here. Is there a downside? Yes, it is a downside. It doesn't work. It's not thread safe. It could be that, you know, one thread calls this thing, creates a task. Then the next thread that calls this thing sees that the task is already created. And then that thread still calls set array size. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so I could make this one thread safe as well. Well, I mean, it has to be, I guess. They both need to lock a mutex then I can handle them independently. Okay. Yeah, and so I need to have a task here. I have the task already, yay! But it needs to be thread safe. I'm using descriptor task type. Yeah, that's usually reserved for the actual object, and I need to wrap something. Just gonna do it like this, I guess. AI thread safe or wrapper. So this is just my own libraries, right? That you don't think that it is a standard library or C++. If I use a C++ library, then it starts with std. And these are other namespaces, so they are my code usually. So I want to have this type, but then combined with the mutex. So now I have, this is just wraps a mutex together with the boost intrusive pointer. And then I can only access the boost intrusive pointer if I lock the mutex. Very simple. Arthur! Hey man. I saw your donation. It's amazing. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, it's a really cool view, man. If all my subscribers would do that. Door eyes. Nah. Yeah, I would be rich. Yeah, well, thank you. I do. I'm really just, working and then streaming, but for the rest, I would do this otherwise completely alone. So I think I owe my viewers for keeping me company. And it does give me a nice feeling if I make people happy with this. They learn something from it, but Never crossed my mind that this would be worth money. So, but well, thank you. Yeah, so I have a thread safe. This wraps it together with the mutex, and then it's thread safe. So, and we need something like it for the array size, like I just argued. So I'm going to have a using array size type. Yeah, I could of course combine the size and this in one. Actually, it is. It's nonsense. Of course it is. That's my array size. Set array size. M array size. There it is. M array size is a member of CombinedImageSampler. So I'm just going to pass it on directly to there while having this object locked, or rather the access to it locked. Okay, I'm using the same mutex. Yep. So I need to lock it, get the type, colon, right access type, convention W. Now we have the right lock on it. In the case of the mutex, it doesn't even matter, of course, it's just locking one mutex, but I can use a read write mutex as well. So now I have exclusive access to this variable, and I can create the task. So I have to dereference it, and then we can access it, and I'm writing to it stateful task create. And we can just pass that to the constructor. And that is also CombinedImageSampler, but in this case it's a descriptor, right? Descriptor / task. Realize. I use the word realize. I started to use the word realize for things that I just want to be created once. So either it creates it or it will use a cached value of a previously created thing. So it's just my personal convention for the word realize. Description, no, descriptor. So I want to have per instance of this type have a single descriptor. But this function is called multiple times, might be called multiple times by different threads. by pipeline factories that use the descriptor. So what I want is that the first one that calls it should create it, and then the next one that calls it should, of course, not create it, but wait until that task is done or finished. Yeah, and this is very difficult. I mean, I call things difficult when I don't have an overview myself. So maybe I should not say that it's difficult. I should say that I don't understand it myself yet. But one thing is clear, that if another thread already did this, I mean, it did this line and then it leaves the scope, and therefore it releases the mutex, then another thread could come in here and create it as well. We don't want that. So we need a way to detect whether or not this thing was already created. And that's not that difficult, because it's just a default constructed boost intrusive pointer. So if it has a value, we are the second one or the third one, etc. So what you can do is say if yeah, you can just dereference, I guess. You can just pass if I dereference, so I get a boost intrusive pointer, and then if you try to convert that to the Boolean like this, then I do that. Just check if it was already set, the pointer. So I need the opposite. If it's not set yet, then we set it. Now I'm not yet calling set size, but I don't know if set size is going to be called. And other threads will just skip right over this. So then the task is created, but it's not run. So we have to run it as well immediately. And running it in immediate mode, that is, you have to pass a thread pool queue or an engine to run the tasks in. If you want it to run in there, it's like from the thread pool. If I just do run with two parentheses, don't pass anything, then it's being run in immediate mode, meaning that the thread that is calling it also immediately starts running it. And that's not bad, that is just fast, you know, it's efficient. Why not? I mean, there is nothing to wait for. We can just warm it up and run it until it can run no more, and then the thread will return. So as long as the task has CPU cycles to burn, it will use the thread that is calling this run until the task pauses, and then it just returns. And then you say, yeah, but then when starts running again? Well, some other thread will call signal on it in order to wake it up, and then the one that calls signal is going to donate CPU cycles. It usually works. Running things in immediate mode, it usually works. And the only reason that they don't want to do that is when something is really burning a lot of CPU cycles. So it doesn't return very quickly. Now I'm running it, I should get a runtime error because this task is broken like hell. I didn't implement it yet. But let's first write this one. Okay, now I have a problem still, because I cannot use this same if here to check if that is already set. Because these things are called one after another. It could be that one thread calls this, sets it, leaves it, and then another thread skips this one, and then there are still two threads going to call this one. And only one of them should set the size, or should they? They should set the same size. So every time I call this, either the size is already set or it is not set, and if it is set, it must be the same as this, the size that we have here. So we're not really thread safe. Well, we are thread safe in the sense that the set size is going to be called one after another. So again, this calls set array size, and well, actually maybe, you know, it wouldn't hurt, because we are writing the same value that we already have, and in practice that will work, but in theory it's not allowed. It is undefined behavior. If you write to memory location at the same time that you read it, it's just starting World War III. It's maybe not a good joke anymore, because we're pretty close to that. But undefined behavior does. And even if I write the same value to memory that is already there, it also is. So I don't really want to do that actually. And so I have to make that thing thread safe again also, and well, we can do that in this case by making it an atomic. So if I follow this set array size function here, it's full with asserts which now no longer work, because it would assert here, it would say don't call set array size twice. But in this case it is allowed to call it twice as long as the value is the same. And so I think that what I'm going to do is I was going to say I'm going to delete all the asserts, but I like the asserts. Well, first of all, we need to make a array size atomic. So let's make it a standard atomic. There is. It's always nice people use the same name on in YouTube and in Discord. Yeah, well, speed is not important here at all, but I still feel that this calls for an compare exchange. It's just the way it is, basically. even though I'm then not doing anything with it except asserting. Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe shouldn't. Should I do that or not? Otherwise I'd have to load the value, and that would not be thread safe. It would only be, you know, I mean, then you have a race condition that you load it and then you react to that, and then in between loading it and it's true. It's not really true, is it? Okay, now I have confused myself. If that's not true, then it doesn't need to be atomic. Oh, right, yeah, it had to be atomic because one thread might be reading it. I'm not going to lock it every time I read it, just because another thread might write the same value to it. So that's why it had to be atomic, which, by the way, won't make any difference in the assembly code, as long as I'm using not sequential consistent memory order. I never do that because I hate it. At least on Intel CPUs, which I have. I have AMD, but that architecture. Pair exchange. Yeah, like I said, I'm not doing anything with it, so maybe I should use just exchange, which I just noticed. Send that exchange. Replaces the value of object with new value and returns the old value. Is this not atomic? Doesn't look atomic. Atomic exchange. This is the one that I want. Nexus, hello. Yep. So I want a memory order because I don't want a lock instruction in my assembly or nothing. Which is ridiculous in this case because, like I said, it's not critical at all, but I just can't help myself. So I'm gonna use this one. Yeah, okay. That returns. Place the value point to be object with the value of this desired, I think, and returns the value object you held previously. As in object exchange. I'm going to use that one. Object exchange desired order. Now, which memory order do we need? I think it really doesn't matter at all. No, it does not matter. So I'm gonna use relaxed. If you want to look inside my mind and think, how the hell did he decide that? Well, we are inside a mutex, that's why. Mutex that we lock to access this function. So then I want okay, so the first time we call it, this size will have been 1, and we just overrode it. And then after that, we are only allowed to call it with the same size, so it must be the same size. And this assert can be done at the top still. And this we already did. Right, now I guess maybe I'm getting an error when we assert is empty, like in release mode and stuff. Maybe unused. That should suppress that warning. Yeah, that's it, I think, for the set array size. Good, good, good. Okay, now I want to see that 1, it compiles, and 2, we get a crash, or an assert rather. I'm going to get an assert. We are not interested to give you our credit card number. Why would they even try that in a channel like this with only smart people on it? There's no member named run. Oh, it returns a boost intrusive pointer. I mean, the dereference is not a pointer itself. Yeah, so a way to... I guess I'll just use get. And then we have the pointer. There's no member named get. That's a different one. Yeah. Oh, I'm an idiot. Oh no, I'm not an idiot. I just didn't change it. So here we need read access, but descriptor task is going to be constant, so we cannot even convert it to write access. So I need a CRED, constant read access type. Which also read locks it, and in this case, which is just a mutex, it just locks a mutex, exactly like the write access type. But hey, it's completely ready to, you know, convert this to read-write logging. So why not write it like that? Well, I need to do that. So this gives me then the read access. So that returns operator arrow here returns the boost intrusive pointer of the object pointer. So we have a pointer to a boost intrusive pointer. So we call get on that, and then we have the pointer that the boost intrusive pointer was pointing to. It's the same problem, like double arrow. Okay, sorry. Cannot convert combined image sampler, the shader resource combined image sampler pointer to a shader resource base class pointer. That's correct, I would say. Now at this point we already called both, right? I mean no, we didn't. Yes, we did. Task was already created. The thread that calls this is also required to initialize it. Yeah, it called the thread that calls this called on this object the add GLSL ID postfix and the set array size. And then it calls this. Therefore, this object already has a running task. And we need a pointer to that. Yeah, not like that. Let's call that thing a task here to make it more clear what it is. By pointer. So I'm gonna need the descriptor. CombinedImageSampler. I think const. I mean, if it compiles, then it's always better. Use a const. Decode is from that thing here. Get it automatically converted, or is that too much? It says use an accessor, right? Let's just use an accessor. Let's add an accessor. Still has to be locked, but afterwards there's no need to lock it anymore, right? Because of the way I wrote it. It's a one-time initialization, and after that we just read. That's kind of a dirty way to do it, but we should add a comment. Pretty dirty, actually. It's completely against my normal AI thread safe interface. I mean, it would work, but I would almost separate it out in separate mutex, not use the wrapper, because it's just too dirty. Yeah, holy dirty. Yeah, let's add a comment because it is so dirty. I really have to comment it. Because I like to see what is my code and what is standard library code. And it's easier to grab for it as well. I use long things anyway, so I don't care to type long names. I don't even type them, just copy paste them. So you're not saving anything by leaving the std : out. You just make things less readable and less easy to maintain. Plus this is a header, so then it's an FAQ. Google it. Never ever do that in a header. But that's a different reason. I just never ever do it anywhere. Okay, the class has an accessor to this member that returns a const pointer to the underlying descriptor CombinedImageSampler. Without holding a lock. Well, at least I wrote a comment for it now. So, yeah, very dirty. So we get the read log here, and then I just return. Oh horror! The pointer. That normally you should never ever do this, because then you're abusing the interface of AI thread safe, and things are not safe anymore. But I think in this case it's just possible by design. Now this would be wrong to access if we did not initialize it yet, but hey, that means that the pointer would be 0, and I'm perfectly okay with an asshole who is calling this before initializing it and having to deal with a null pointer. Suits you. I'm just kidding, of course, but really. I'm not gonna add an assert that my pointer may not be null, because it will crash anyway, right? Yeah, okay, I'm happy with this. So now you have this, well, happy is different, but I won't lay awake tonight because of this. And I'm having my dirty accessor. The noise. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Compile. Yeah, that. I'm afraid I have to delete this whole function. Well, comment it out. Because it's a callback that we no longer use at the moment. It's got to be integrated with the non-finished task in the end. Yippee, I still have a little bit of water. Bit bubble. Hey, compiles. And at the search in the expected place. So this says that I didn't call yield or wait. If this fails, then run say didn't change, and neither wait nor yield was called. And that's correct, because No, I'm looking at exactly the wrong one. We need this one. No, we don't. No, I'm just an idiot. Or mint. Descriptor. Yeah. Okay, so it's complaining about the fact that this thing is not doing anything. This state. Okay, so this is our task. The task was created and run. Now we get here. There's absolutely nothing to do. I mean, we might even still get a set array size call afterwards. So we don't even know our array size. There's absolutely nothing to do. The only thing we want to do is waiting for a signal, which comes guaranteed after a set array call, set array size call, if that call comes at all. And then if the signal comes before the set array size, then the array size has to be just kept at 1. Then it's not an array. So yeah, wait for a signal. That signal is going to signify that I have the feeling that it's like going to do everything, right? When are we going to signal this thing? I think it's the callback. The callback that I just commented out. That is now our signal, and it's going to mean that we are fully initialized. That's just, I don't know. Fully initialized seems like a good word. Initialized. Already exists. In pipeline factory itself. Yeah. So we have to add that also now to our task here. How did I add that? I added it publicly below some using stuff. Yeah. I just start with the first bit. That condition type is just an uint32. Nothing special there. It's a bit. I'm going to wait for this, and then everyone is happy again. Except of course that task now will never finish. And the callback will never happen. So what will happen if I run it now? I think we get, well, we definitely do not get any graphics because I'm not binding my descriptor set, but I think I'm continuing anyway. So there's a race condition here that has to be solved as well. So yeah, I should get a validation error from Vulkan. Bad function call. Oh, I still do my callback, but it's not being initialized. Let's remove that then. So we have. Let's see. Where's that being called? Pipeline factory. Just leave this. Pipeline. Okay. Call back. I think I called it call back. Yeah. Pretty much the right place. But we don't have a callback anymore. This is not the callback that I was looking for. Why is my eye hurting? Like headache hurting. Callback from sharing modellen. Yeah, that's this one. Not. No, this events idiot. Next. This one. Troll detected. Okay, so now I have to send that signal. But Okay, I'm distracted by pain in my right eye. Maybe I should take a break. Plus, I'm confused. How many signals do I need to send here? I think 2. Descriptor sets initialized. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is correct. This callback here used to do the updates of the descriptors. And now that is maybe delayed, but it is at least at this point that the descriptors themselves are available. Yeah, and then when I say it like that, I suddenly think that's a better word. It sounds more like an event also. So I gotta add that to shader input data or shader input data. Yeah. That is member things, constructor, private functions, public stuff. I think this one has to be public. No, not, yeah, well, okay. So add begin multi-loop states. Oh, we are being called from that, so I might as well add it here. This is this state. Yep, even the comment is correct. So let's just add it after that one. And then I have to send a signal to all the combined image sampler tasks. Do I even have that? Did I even store them? I mean, I should. Yes, I did. We called this register something. Forgot what it was called. Register shader resource. This function was being called here. So we have it in here, right? Yeah, well, like that, I guess. But now I only have the base class, and I need to call something on the combined image sampler. And the base is not derived from AI stateful task as well, so you just have to use a virtual function, I guess. Now, what does it mean if we get here for, let's say, a uniform buffer? That it means the uniform buffer was created, which is actually the same thing. The descriptors are available. Either that, or I just have to change the name. This is just general, I guess. So just calling that on everything. Yeah, I don't know. Not super happy with it, but now a problem. Well, problem. I mean, the uniform buffers do not need to do anything here. And I'm almost confused, you know, why do they not have to do anything? While the combined image samplers do. So that's strange. And the reason is that update is already done. The uniform buffers already did the update. The uniform buffers did have this called, I think, yeah. You see, the combined image sample is ignoring that. But the uniform buffer is not. Updates the descriptor sets. Yeah, right here. Okay, yeah, okay. I must understand again really why the discrepancy is, that's the right word. Okay, I think I know why. The reason is that there is a one-on-one relationship for the uniform buffers between its descriptor and an actual uniform buffer. Well, not entirely one-to-one. You have frame resources, but we have descriptors for each frame resource. So log here. If we ignore the frame resources, then we just have a single descriptor set, which is then bound to whatever is being passed here. Or where does this come from? What is this? Bound to the handle, yeah. So there's a one-on-one relationship between descriptors and handles here. Therefore we can do it here. Meaning that the handle is simply an element that is known here without needing any other information. I have no idea, leaving. Probably very long. I'm just wondering why cannot use this function to send the signal. I'm having a descriptor set and the binding number. That's all I need. Oh wait, I need a binding number. Oh, ugh. Yeah, yeah, well, you have to look what this is being called. I'm thinking. Robin. Update descriptor set is called reverse order for all shared resources used in this pipeline. And that what is being passed is loading window and the descriptor set and the binding and new descriptor set second. Yep. Oh, that's just a boolean. The last one is a boolean and saying if it is a frame resources or not, which is not the case in the case of the combined image sampler. It's again an initialization. This has to be passed to the task before we can continue running it. Namely the descriptor that must be bound and the binding. Descriptor set, sorry. Update descriptor set, really? I'm not getting it. How does that work? The descriptor set. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Finally, I get it. Yeah, this gives a single descriptor to update. It gives a descriptor set and the binding, that which, aka the descriptor within the descriptor set, and that's just a single descriptor then that is ready. While it is possible that that descriptor is used in multiple descriptor sets. And if I do not use this function, then that was kind of difficult to get back that information. So hence my four-fold for loop in that currently commented out callback function that got back that information. And that then can only be called after we are completely done, because then I loop over all the basically all the vectors and maps that I have to collect the data back, and I would miss information, of course, if the last call to update the descriptor set here wasn't done already. Now, on one hand, that is not that bad. to do it at the end, because I then can batch the updates, which I definitely want. But on the other hand, it is much easier and basically cleaner, I guess, to collect the data from here. And then maybe I'll just batch it. So I could collect the data from here, batch it, and then still send the signal at the end. Or I could at a delay, or what is the best way? If I want to batch it, I have to wait kind of till I have all the information. Yeah, but I think I want to use this function because that looping over for everything just to get back that information, and it's kind of silly, I think. And then there is the other problem of multiple pipeline factories using the task. They would still call this? No, there's only one that will call this. Yeah. That is the brilliance of this this file, basically. I would say function, but it's split up in many functions. So the tasks, the pipeline factory tasks already wait for one of the tasks to finish this. So there is only a single thread at a time calling this function, hence making it thread safe by design. That's making it dramatically easier to implement it. Even easier than using the signal at the end. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to send the signal there. Let's not do this one. So what happens now? Now I get no graphics and validation errors. Yep. Okay. Let's This is my task. This is now a task, yep. So yeah, it's super annoying. Now I have data and I want to run this synchronously inside my task. The whole thing was this is like one thread at a time, right? It is single threaded in relationship to the combined image sample. Well, it has to be. It would be like weird if it would be called more than once. Well, this, but by different threads with the same data. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah, so I'm not convinced. It's a lie. It's true when I run it in immediate mode. But I don't want to assume that. So it's safe to add data as in we are the only writer. But if the task itself is running in a different thread, then I might be reading it. So I need something that is a single write, multi-read, that is thread safe. How do you call that? Single. No. It's never easy, is it? I have to store the data, so like the binding and the descriptor set the value here in a container, which then the task can read. I will only access that container for writing with a single thread at a time. But other threads might be reading it. This is not a problem. You would say, well, what are they reading? Well, they're reading everything. And then I'm adding something while they're reading it. Don't they miss it? No, because after writing I send the task a signal, and that signal then will cause it to realize that it might have missed something and then start over. Yeah, that 100% sounds like the TaskToTaskDeque that I already designed. It just has to be it. That is exactly TaskToTaskDeque. There is only one little problem with it. Then I can have my task only wait for this. I don't know how to wait for two TaskToTaskDeques. I needed to wait for images too, namely. So it has two inputs. On one hand, the descriptors that it gets here, and on the other hand, the images that must be bound to it. And my task must be waiting for both then. But hey, I think I'll just implement this and then think about making it wait for a second TaskToTaskDeque. So I'm gonna pretend for now that we only have a single one, and then what I need to do here is basically add stuff to the TaskToTask. Of course, I have no idea how to do that anymore, but TaskToTaskDeque. I'm going to stop the stream because I'm going to eat. I have to shop food first also, and there's already 1:30. And then, well, yeah, just time to eat, right? Yeah. What else is there to say? I'll be back later. And then I'll implement passing this information to my task and waiting it up by means of the TaskToTaskDeque. And then has to combine that with information it gets from another task to task, so it can still not really do anything. It gets only half the information. But hey, there is progress. Yeah, now I lost the OBS because I minimized it. Yeah, there it is.